Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Liverpool Latest. I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas. I know I did. I'm not wearing it today, but that Diogo Jota jersey I have prayed ever so much for is in my hands, and I will hopefully be wearing it in an episode very soon for you guys. So now that makes two. That makes Salah, and it makes Jota, which fantastic. Those are the first two jerseys I wanted anyway. So, anyhow, let's talk today's game, shall we? Everybody knows about my disdain for Wolves. I'm happy as ever that they're at the bottom of the table. More so now, considering we have beaten them in a what should have been a clean sheet, to be honest with you, because they had no right scoring in the 51st minute of the second half, and it was all kind of downhill for us from there. But that is something I'll talk about as time goes on. Yes, the score is 2-1. We had two really epic goals by Gravenberch and Wirtz. Yes, Wirtz has officially scored his first Liverpool goal today, which was absolutely fantastic. And again, I'll get to that soon, but let's go over a couple of statistics that I like to cover as we go talk about this win here. So, shots 15-9 in favor of Liverpool. Shots on target were 4 apiece. Possession throughout the course of the match varied. For a majority of the time, if not the entire time, Liverpool had majority possession at 69 nice percent to Wolves 31%, and I can imagine Wolves only had 31% because, well, the second half was much better for them than the first. Passes 631 to 306. Pass accuracy 89% to 83% in favor of Liverpool once again. 5 fouls to Wolves 12. Yellow cards, we suffered none, surprisingly. That was shocking in its own right. No red cards were given today. Offsides, we had 1. That was really the only true statistic Wolves beat us in, and we beat them in corners 6-4. Although one of those corners they had resulted in a goal. So, let's talk about those goals by Gravenberch and Wirtz, shall we? Both of them were fantastic. All right, they were very well set up. Frimpong set up Gravenberch's goal. Ekitike set up Wirtz's. Absolutely stellar stuff. All right, I could not have asked for a better way to end the first half. What sucks for me, because I was out gallivanting about with my family on our last date together before I had to go back into the real world. I went to turn off the game on my television, went to go turn it on my phone, and in that span of 5 to 10 minutes, we ended up scoring both those goals, as Gravenberch scored in the 41st minute, Wirtz scored in the 42nd. And of course, I turned on the game and said to myself, well, fuck me, of course they score when I'm not watching the game. So I was able to catch the replay of the goals during the halftime on Peacock, as well as I got another refresh of it on TikTok for the Liverpool TikTok page. And again, both goals were really stellar. Crowd was loud for both of them, but they were a little bit louder for Wirtz because it was something that we have wanted to see from him for a long time. And in that first Liverpool goal, he was robbed of it several weeks ago now, and now he has that goal after last week's assist, which is even better. So Wirtz is panning out to be something very special for us, and it goes without saying because he was also the man of the match today for Liverpool, which made me very happy for him. Honestly, if Wirtz keeps this up, I might have to spend more money on another jersey, if I got to be honest with you. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about us in the first half. I think the first half was okay. I'm not saying it outside of those goals. It was like an all right. They were doing okay. Like they were obviously pressing. Wolves were being a little bit too busy on the counter there at times, but not enough to make us incredibly nervous. I think first half Liverpool dominated, goes without showing. It's the second half that I have to talk about because it makes me upset, because it's the same story as last week or the weeks prior, beating or playing against an inferior opponent only to play down to competition and essentially let them come back into the game. There is no goddamn reason Santiago Bueno at the 51st minute of the match should have scored that on that corner. Which, once again, it's been something that's been talked about quite a bit because I've talked about it. Our set pieces continue to make us suffer. Whether it's throw-ins, corner kicks, it doesn't matter who the fuck is doing it. It seems like they'll find a way to score against us because we either are not marking these guys or we're not clearing the balls out as well as we should. So there's that. I got that off my chest. Now let's talk about momentum and control. I don't know what's so hard about us to not collapse in the last 15 minutes of a match outside of extra time. It's just, it makes me upset. This team, throughout all accounts, this lineup was very good. All right, this lineup up until the substitutions was very good. This start with the back four being Frimpong, Konate, Van Dijk, and Kirkez, who had an okay game. Gravenberch and Jones in the middle, Chiesa, Maka, Verts, and then Ekitike in the front. You know, they had a really good thing going there. And I think once the substitutions were coming on, I'm not going to blame the substitutions per se, because they really all didn't have all that much of a factor into the game. If anything, when Bradley came on, it definitely saved us a couple of times. But I'm just not happy with what is going on in the second half of these games, all right? I'm used to first halves being shit for Liverpool, okay? When I started watching soccer, it was always the first half was something that was completely abysmal to watch. And then the second half would be we would finally pull our heads out of our asses. Now, it's like the first half we're lucky if the first half doesn't go completely garbage, okay? If they don't score on us within the first 10 minutes of the match, right? On top of that, now we have to worry about conceding in the second half because our defense is so shaky and Konate seems lost everywhere he goes on the ball. And same with Kirkez. Kirkez is just, I don't know what's going on with him. I feel like he plays with like a clear head sometimes. He just pushes in ways where he shouldn't be pushing, or he's just not right for the position. I don't know how to describe it. Kirkez is just playing the position in a way where I don't think it's meant to be played as with the left back position. But Frimpong was pretty good. I liked Frimpong on the right back. He was really the only option we had, to be honest with you. But yeah, all in all, these second half performances, they got to do better. I'm not pleased. I'm not happy. I'm not ecstatic about where we are. We're winning games. Yes, this is the third game I think we've won in a row now. If I'm not mistaken, if you give me a moment, I'll be able to tell you right off the bat. Yes, this is our third game that we have won in a row, shockingly. All right? This has also been Wolves' last 5 they've lost, so if not more so. So I'm trying to figure out how we are struggling against the absolute last place team on the table. Like, how are we struggling? We should have dominated this team. We should have scored at least another 2 goals on them in the second half. We had the personnel to do it, but maybe it was just the way the Wolves' formation was that was preventing us from pushing through, because that was definitely something I noticed a little bit, that their formation and their shape was a little bit more defensive-minded, and we could not get past at times, but when we did, it was great. But yeah, I'm very, very skeptical what's going to happen with us now going into the new year and the second half of the season, because I don't like where this is going. You know, we face Leeds now next week in the first week of 2026, and thus marking the second half of the season, or the beginning of the second half of the season. And I still don't feel very confident in this team as we speak, you know, because yes, we are 4th place on the table right now. There's still probably a couple more games to play, but that could change. Either way, you know, the top is only 10 points away. I mean, maybe if we get our heads out of our asses and start having more dominating, convincing showings, we should have a pretty solid. We should have a pretty solid going here. But right now, it's all Arsenal and Man City at the top, and whoever runs away with that over the course of the next couple of weeks is probably going to run away with the league. God hoping it is Man City if it's not us. But that's all I have to say about that. Also, one thing I wanted to touch on a little bit here to end off today's video, how both clubs basically contributed to honoring Diogo Jota, who, as we all know, passed away over the summer, and I've talked about it a bit in my own right, and it hurts me every time I have to talk about it, but the fact of the matter is he's no longer here. What I also did not really know up until his passing was that he was also a member of the Wolves' squad for a period of time before joining Liverpool, it seemed. And I like the fact that they posted their own tributes to him, walking up to the little, I guess, mural that they have, or the little place to lay flowers and such that everyone's been doing throughout the course of the season. Very classy from Wolves. I hate them with all my heart, but, you know, as a team that has also, you know, had Diogo Jota as a part of them and cares about that as much as we do, it's very much appreciative as a Liverpool fan that a former players' squad, or that the player's former team, I should say, is also stepping in to honor him as well. His kids were also mascots in the opening ceremony before the game, which honestly is enough to make a grown man cry, if I say so in my own right. His wife being on the sidelines there just kind of broke me a little bit, and I'm getting emotional. I'll try to cut this short before I start sobbing, but I ain't gonna lie to you either, though. When I got that Diogo Jota jersey in my Christmas presents, I fought back quite a bit of tears, because that's something that was very special that I wanted to get, because I don't know how many more opportunities I would have had to get it. So awesome that I was able to get that gift. I'm not wearing it now, but I will wear it for future episodes. That much I can promise you. As much as I can promise you another great video tomorrow for Liverpool Latest, as I say goodbye to you today, and I thank you for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Leave a like on the video, and of course, subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel. Get it out there. I want people to come and hang out, and I want this to not only be a definitive spot to get your news, but I also want it to be a definitive spot to share opinions on the team, whether we agree or disagree. Doesn't matter. We're all fans of the same team at the end of the day. And with that being said, up the Reds. You'll never walk alone.